All right, everybody. Good morning. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic start to the AM here. Happy Friday. It doesn't feel like a Friday to me. It feels like maybe a Tuesday. I don't know what that means, but I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic start to the AM here. Are ready to kind of keep compounding away, right? Keep kind of taking advantage of some of the volatility the market's given us here in the last, we'll say 3 days or so. And then hopefully, right, we can finish off the week here with a bang and go into the weekend feeling great about our trading. A few things to talk about here, right, before we get started. First things first, right, we need to be a little bit cautious. I know obviously the objective here is, okay, feel good about your trading going into the weekend, but that doesn't mean I'm willing to take a decision just for the sake of like a P&L feeling, right? So I'm not here to take a trade just for the sake of taking a trade. I'm here to take a trade that follows my rules and that gives me an opportunity to take advantage, right, of this volatility. Yesterday on ES, for example, the trade we had for the nice win, if you want to call it that, right, or what even could have been a better win than what it was here was our setup candle, right, 955. Confirmation on increasing outlier volume, and then we saw bulls fail at reclaiming these highs, right? So once we saw that fake out there at 1010 and then that bearish reclaim at 1015, that started to give us a little bit of confidence that we were going to get a bit of a sell-off here right to the downside. And as markets are going to continue to be a little bit choppy, right, inside bar there yesterday, what looks to be opening up in the middle of yesterday's range here today, then we're still going to be, I think, inside that, I don't know, chop condition, right? Chop market, whatever you want to call it. And that's just going to slow me down from being hyper aggressive, right? Especially on those fake outs until I see bulls fail or bears fail at either the highs or lows. So that's first thing, right? Second thing, the focus here is to basically have one good trade, one good win. I don't like this starting off the day with a loss and then having to make it back with the second trade type price action. So trying to be maybe a little bit pickier here this morning, right? Just to make sure that, hey, not only is my timing correct on my thesis, but my thesis is also correct here too. So that's going to be focus, I guess, right there. Try to filter out trades, or maybe I don't have as much of an expectation, or that doesn't feel exactly right, or isn't behaving exactly the way that I want, and just being a little bit stricter, right, in accepting those plays. And then finally, right, the last focus, if you want to call it that here for the day, is to take my trade off as my P&L is increasing. So yesterday, right, I got stopped out protecting a green day, but I still left, you know, maybe $700-800 on the table, right, per account. And that certainly compounds here pretty quickly. So my objective, right, is to basically avoid doing that. So if I can really focus on my entry timing, see bulls or bears fail, I can really try to filter out my obvious kind of shakeout trades and go one for one. And if I can close my P&L or close my trade here as my P&L is increasing, then I'm going to be putting myself in a situation where no matter how I behave over the course of a week, over the course of a month, if I basically focus on those three elements, I'm going to be successful. So that's the primary focus here this morning. We always talk about controlling the variables you can control, and those are the three ones that I'm really focusing on here today. So that's the emphasis. That's really what I care about. And if I can really put together all those things, stack up all those cards in my favor, however you want to describe it, then I'm going to be in a great situation. Today, right, on the 11th, we still have a little bit more Fed speak. It's been a busy week of Fed speakers. We PPI come out here this morning. We've got consumer sentiment here at 10. So again, we're going to have a little bit of headline risk here in today's session. So let's just make sure that we're not doing anything too aggressive going into those headlines. So with that being said, team, let's start mapping things out here, figure out what we want to do here this morning, and then go from there. So good morning, Suresh. Good morning, Elevating with Egypt, Salstein, Jeff, Craig, Steven, Ruben, Rame, Brett, Jeremy, Tamara, Brian, Daniel, Sammy, Constantine, Ben, Topher, and Jen. Hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic Friday morning. And yeah, let's have ourselves a great day. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Raphael. So, ES, guys, what's the count here? Let's start there. Good morning, Matt. What's the count, team? What's the count? Yeah, inside bar. Spot on, right? Good morning, Mike. So, thing about this inside bar, though, right, is it looks like it gave us on increasing volume. So, not exactly a fantastic sign. But we did bounce essentially off of that trend line there, right? Not perfect, but within that range. So we're going to be looking for a breakout basically above that 850, right? Or a breakout up towards it. And then we can look for some continuation. To the downside, right? We need to basically lose that trend line for us to have some conviction to target down towards that 5780. Good morning, Nate. Hope you're doing well. And then we're looking for a fake out, again, off of 5800, right? So off that trend line, bounce off that trend line and then move towards 5850 makes a ton of sense. Obviously, with that inside bar setup, right, not too much is changing from a technical analysis perspective, right? Because we didn't really make higher highs. We didn't really make lower lows relative to previous day. So not too much is changing from that end. To the downside here, still going to be targeting a move towards 5780. Fake out above all-time highs, right? And then breakdown is going to be the starting point here for us to the downside. Welcome back, Nate. Great to see you in here. All right, NQ, what's the count? Excuse me. Coffee went down the wrong pipe. No, not an inside bar, right, on NQ. Right, because it made a higher high above yesterday's range. So 3 for 3 here to the upside. How do we feel about that candle shape? What about that candle tells us bullish characteristics? Right, higher high, higher low, and it bounced off that trend line, right? So if we said yesterday we were looking for an ORB fake out at the trend line, then an ORB breakout towards, right, those highs, we kind of got that reaction, right? All things considered. And then that volume, although it's increasing, right, it's non-outlier volume. So easy for us to think that we could invalidate that standard. And then we're still going to look basically for a reversal right off of that like 2300 area for a move back up towards those highs, right, which is like 25. Or, right, if we're going to play a reversal or a breakdown, we'd like to see a really high volume rejection push us back down towards that 22. So again, not too much is changing from yesterday's plans. Like I don't need to add any new levels. You know, if I can get a fake out at 2,500 for a move down towards 2,200, awesome. If I get a bounce off that trend line like we saw there yesterday, then I should have some paths higher here this morning. So let's see if that can shape up and come together. But that would be the plan here this morning. Okay, crude. Green candle, decreasing volume, gap down. What's that count? Good morning, SG. Yeah, 1 out of 3 here to the upside, right? Weak, bullish, trending price action. And we think we maybe have room up towards that upper trend line if you're a bull. If you're a bear, that trend line would be where you'd like to see a rejection here at this point, right? So we've got space up towards like 78. So not a ton of room here this morning. And then to the downside here, right? Like 77 fake out has room back down towards sort of these lows. And we can go down towards like 74.50 and beyond. Cool. All right, Apple. What's the count here? Similar to ES or more similar to NQ? Yeah, looks more like ES, right? Because it's an inside bar, spot on. Oops. Inside bar, right? So we're still looking for that 230 breakout here, right? Not too much is changing from that. And then to the downside here, right? A breakdown basically under 225. Okay, Tesla, huge gap down here. Post its event there yesterday. Saw a video of its like humanoid robot thing making a drink as a bartender, trying to pour a pint of beer, but pouring it about only 50% of the way. So I would definitely be furious if that was the case. But it looked like it was a pretty interesting demo, and market's gapping down significantly on that. Maybe a little bit of an overreaction, right? The size of that gap also indicates that tend to not leave gaps, right? Gaps tend to get filled within the first 24 hours here, like 70% of the time, something along those lines. So this for me, right, although it's a 3 for 3 here to the downside, it's a weak 3 for 3. This would be setting up as like a textbook Bollinger Band reversal. Basically just a classic mean reversion. The move happened overnight type thing. And maybe a lot of people are just going to be buying this dip just for the sake of buying the dip, right? $14, $15 gap down. That's huge. So definitely very interesting. And then to the downside here, we'd like to see basically a bullish failure and then break down under 20. All right. Microsoft, Doji decreasing volume, baby gap down. So again, 1 for 3 here to the upside. Not too much is changing, except we're looking for a breakdown here under 413.50. Good morning, Howell. How you doing? All right, Amazon, red candle, Doji, increasing but weak volume, and then a little bit of a gap up. So you're still looking for that one, call it now 188.20 breakouts. And then to the downside here, right, looking for a 186 breakdown. All right, AMD, pretty fat candle. Kind of looks like a little bit of a trend line, right? So you'd like to see it lose that trend line there on volume, right? Or a good continuation of that area. So a breakdown there under, call it 161.50 would be the starting point. And then obviously this is the strongest looking, right, bearish setup that we've had here so far today. Most impressive volume standard, most impressive candle that we've seen. So we're not going to have a bullish case here. If bulls bounce, fine. That's no worries. We'll let them do their own thing. But I'm not trying to catch the very top and bottom of this wave. I'm looking for that continuation once I've seen that volume pattern being set. So it's hard for me to want to swim against the current here and look to buy into this really heavy selling pressure. Okay. NVIDIA, slight divergence, right, away from AMD. So pretty good indication, right, that yesterday was a chop day when even NVIDIA and AMD start to give us different stories. Higher high, lower low, decreasing volume, gap down. So it is a 1 for 3 here. And it's a little bit of an indecisive 1 for 3, right? Although it's a strong candle shape, it isn't doing that on impressive volume. Although it's a strong candle shape, we still made a lower low. So there are reasons here to be a little bit pessimistic, right, over the quality of this setup. You know, that volume, I wish it was much stronger than what it is. So a 135 breakout, still very much the thesis that I'm looking for here this morning. And then a 131 breakdown, would be the starting point here to the downside. In general, I'd like to see these semiconductor names sync up and become more consistent before I'm willing to say that I'm going to be crazy aggressive, right? They've been sort of the leading names that have been driving and pushing markets here in the last week or so. So let's look for a strong, tidy narrative to fall in love with and for those stories to sync back up. What we might see, and this has been sort of the theme to a certain extent, is kind of like a sneaky rotation. So we've seen, you know, Tesla sell off here, right, as NVIDIA pumps. Maybe we start to see the reverse happen here to a certain extent as things kind of, you know, revert back to the mean. All right, Meta inside bar here. Nailed it yesterday. We said it was going to be setting up as an inside bar. It did. Beautiful. And we're looking for a breakdown here under 580. Right? Or a breakout here above 594. So not really likely that we're going to get a bull case here today. I mean, in like Bizarro land, we could maybe look for like that trend line bounce in theory off of that 580 area. But I don't have a ton of evidence of bulls defending that specific price action here recently. So I'm going to wait just a day here before that happens. Okay, Netflix. Sending wedge breakout 3 for 3 here to the upside. We held above previous highs, which is previous all-time highs. Pretty good recovery. Higher high, higher low, increasing outlier volume. So classic 3 for 3 here to the upside means no bear case scenario. And we're looking for a breakout here above 734. Right? Or a dip buy off of, we'll say 728 to 726. Cool. Good morning, Rod. All right, Google inside bar here. Bounced off that trend line, opening up upper third of that candle. A lot of consolidation yesterday. Bull case wise, probably need to get up and over 164. And then rejection off of 163 happened there yesterday. So you'd like to see a breakdown here now under 159.50, right? Continuation of continuation of that trending breakdown is what you're looking for here post consolidation. Otherwise, this is starting to look like a capitulation sell-off instead of a trend line breakdown sell-off. And then VIX hanging out 20.87. So still a decent amount of volatility here, which means that if we do get a breakout across the board, we will have plenty of range to deal with here today. That would be very, very interesting, right? If we can get that combo to sync up. But I'm not going to rush anything. I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to do anything stupid, right? I'm basically just going to focus on the variables I can control and wait for that price action to be very consistent here this morning before I do anything wild. Like I said, to start the day off, I've got 3 objectives, right? Or 3 variables that I'm looking to control here all day long. 1, right? Make sure that I have a high conviction setup and I'm not just like starting the day off 0 for 1 just because I want to get some action, right, across the board. 2, let's make sure that we're closing our, trying to close my trade, right, as my P&L is increasing so that I'm not leaving any money on the table, right, and I feel good basically about my position sizing, right, and sort of my P&L potential. And then 3, let's wait for basically the strongest version of a setup. Let's not fall for those kind of like half-baked opportunities, right, whatever you want to call them, and make sure that we're just trading the strongest version of our trades. If that means we have to wait for a fake out scenario like we did yesterday on ES, fine, no worries. We'll be happy to take advantage of those opportunities and just adapt, right, to the conditions that I have in front of me. If the market isn't paying me out for those aggressive entries, I'm not going to keep paying tuition, right, on those aggressive entries and just like pull my hair out thinking, why isn't this working, right? We've seen or noticed a slightly different pattern for entry timing that might work better. So why not focus on that criteria and see what comes together? So we have about 8 minutes here till market open. Happy to answer any questions you guys might have in the next couple minutes here. So please feel free to fire away. Otherwise, yeah, going to spend a few minutes here visualizing a successful trading day. So if you have any questions, let's pop them in the chat. Let's give it a couple minutes here, and then we'll take off if the case there isn't anything. All right, so if no questions, teams, I'm going to go spend a few minutes here visualizing a successful trading day, make myself a cup of coffee, and just get my mind right for what should hopefully be an exciting trading day. So we'll be back in a few minutes, and then we'll do a quick little rundown here as the session is starting. All right, team. So, right, generally across the board, we're seeing a story of like consolidation, right? Yesterday the market kind of caught its breath after the most important CPI of our lifetimes. Obviously, I don't believe that to be true. Um, but if you listen to social media, that's how things were portrayed. So let's see basically how things shape up here this morning, right? If we can get a breakout from that consolidation, if we can see some consistent narratives here across the board, and hopefully, right from there, we can absolutely dominate and crush the price action, right? That's in front of us. So any questions here, team? Everything makes sense? Plan all consistent for everyone? How we feel? Makes sense? Yes, makes sense, everyone. All right, fantastic. So let's have ourselves a great day here, team. Looking forward to trading with you all. And let's see what the market wants to give us. Again, relatively slow, calm start here this morning. And I'm trying to do that on purpose too, right? I think to a certain extent, the more hyped up and, enthusiastic I get about price action at the start of the day, the more I want to trade, right? So again, controlling sort of that emotional state, right? Controlling those expectations. And it kind of make it easier to not like play the adrenaline game, right? Spot 47 versus 18 yesterday. 9.9 versus 8.7. So good increasing volume standards here on our opens. Okay, it's starting to look a little bit like a fake out here. Not a tremendous range on NQ. Better on ES, right? ES looks a little bit more of a tradable range here this morning. Higher high, higher low, decreasing volume. Certainly a little bit of selling pressure to start the day off. Even Tesla. It's interesting. So we're going to be pretty patient here, team, for now. right? Not much looking obvious here immediately. So, very least, right? Maybe we get a fake out scenario happen. But it still needs a little bit of time to mature. So, no rush here yet off this opening bell. Be pretty cautious and patient this morning. Let's see how it goes. So again, still being very slow and patient here, right? Good morning, D-Wayne. Okay, Tesla maybe starting to find some lows. Hey, good morning, Dwayne. These are just, they're called volume candles, Judson. So they're the same as normal candlesticks. It's just for ones that are high volume, they end up looking a little bit fatter. So it's just like a visual cue more than anything else. I don't know, just makes big volume bars stand out. Yeah, I only found them out a couple days ago as well. So I was just playing around with them. Again, it's not like it changes the shape of the candle or changes the price or anything along those lines. So it's all pretty similar. It just makes it really obvious for when you're looking for high ball breakouts or low ball pullbacks or whatever it might be. Yeah, you can turn it off here in your settings. So if you go to your trading settings, it'll be under the appearance tab. Not great volume here yet. I'd prefer to trade ES versus NQ because the range is significantly greater on ES. The volume is better on NQ. So again, pros and cons to everything, I guess. All right, let's start watching NQ here because this volume should get there. Well, to push to target or push the target? I'm not sure what you mean there. Well, ES isn't giving me that increasing outlier volume standard, right, on a breakout over. NQ is. So it's not really like too much of a choice here. Yeah. So, I mean, ES is open 10.25 points versus yesterday's 6.5. ES 26 3/4 versus 48. So there, the pullback that you need to get to get a like justifiable risk reward ratio is better on ES than it is NQ, right? There's more theoretical upside. Okay, so for now, this would be the pullback technique. Stop loss of 35. And if your entry's at 50 and you're risking 15 points, what's that cost you in one contract? What's 15 times 20? $300, yeah. So is that more or less than $500? So if my max loss number is $500, am I buying one contract or am I buying two? Exactly, I'm buying one, right? If I can get a pullback to like 48, okay, then it starts to get maybe a little bit closer towards making that decision to buy two. Now we're making a higher high, so stop loss have to be 45. Or potentially, right, we trade this on the 5-min. 5-min, little bit more range, right, targeting a move towards 406. Okay, so 52.25 would have to be the stop loss here now. And you're looking for an entry under 65. So that could be a little bit closer towards two contracts. All right, so I am in, guys. Average price $23.6275. So that's where you need to decide what your max loss number is, right, Joe? So that's a decision that you should make. Generally, for myself, my max loss that I'm willing to take per day is total daily drawdown divided by 5. But that number, right, your position sizing is a selfish decision that you need to make. Okay, I just took the stop loss there. And every time I take those trades. So minus 420, nice. Classic here. Do I have the courage to take another shot? Potentially. Yeah, it's been annoying, eh, Rusty? So stop loss have to be 45. Yeah, you just get shaken out by 5 points and then it runs. Yeah, I mean, if you make your entries, your stop losses, you're crushing it at the moment. Again, this is just a bit unlucky. So 53.25 stop loss here. Let's see. Like, that's really annoying, but is what it is. So I understand your comment there, Ario, but what would be your consistent, repeatable technique over your stop loss location? Right? If you're wrong on your entry, what else are you wrong about? So do I want to set myself up to take another 10-point extra loss? No. I would rather focus on losing small, so that if I do get another setup, it's easy to bounce back from. If you don't like the size of the losses that you're taking, or they are creating that emotional pain for you, then either trade micros, skip those trades, or wait for deeper pullbacks. But randomly changing your stop loss would not be the solution. Like, guys, one thing that drives me a little bit nuts, right? We've had 8 months of incredible trading performance where this technique works really well, right? Where we're getting good follow through, we're getting good price action, we're getting fantastic trading results. And then 1 week of some slightly choppy price action, and all of a sudden, right, everyone's looking for some new dramatic technique to change up because they've got short-term memory loss, right? We're playing a long-term probabilities game. We're not trying to solve for a singular outcome. And when you obsess over that singular outcome, you just screw yourself over, right? So stop overcorrecting or overreacting to a very small sample size, because it's very exhausting on my end. Like, if I can't have a red day or a red trade for you to be happy with your trading, it's impossible for me to be successful, right? Straight up impossible. So we need to have a realistic expectation of what trading actually looks like. There are going to be ups and downs. There are going to be good times. There are going to be bad times. And it's about obsessing over, when you deal with periods that are more challenging, about losing as small as you possibly can, right? Managing your drawdown. And then when times are good, right? Trusting your strategy and closing your trades as your P&L is increasing, as your P&L is at new highs, and giving yourself that buffer so you can actually survive. But if after each result, you're going to look to change your technique and overcorrect, or you're going to expect me to do that, then you're never going to get the pros, right, of your strategy. So I can't, like, I don't know how to react to those things, because it is, we talk about this all the time, right? It's trading, profitable trading is a result of hundreds of decisions, thousands of decisions, right? Months of trades. So if you have one trade at the start of the day that you don't like, and all of a sudden, oh, I now need to change my stop loss technique, to overcorrect for that one trade? Where's the fact-based evidence to suggest that that's actually the most profitable thing for you to do? It's the most profitable thing on that one decision. But we're not reacting or behaving on a one decision basis, right? So we need to get over this. We need to get over our egos of having to feel like we're going to be correct on all of our trades. It's impossible for that to be the case. So stop expecting your trading to be a straight line higher, because it's not realistic. And if you expect me to, tell you, hey, profitable trading is a result of hundreds of good decisions, but for all 100 of those decisions to be spot on and perfect, you've lost the plot, right? No one likes to lose. It never feels good. But we can't overcorrect or panic after each decision, after each losing trade, and basically make it impossible for ourselves to follow our system, right? I will not and cannot tolerate it. Trading is hard enough as it is. It's even harder when you're trying to solve for each possible outcome, right? If each outcome has to be perfect, you do not stand a chance. So stop expecting yourself to be perfect. Play the long-term probabilities. Size your position so you can survive those probabilities. And if the numbers don't sync up for you where you're happy to take that trade, don't take it and then complain that, hey, I didn't actually like this risk, right? If you didn't like the risk, don't take the trade. Like we're trying to trade like the casino, right? Not like the slot player. Does the casino change their rules every time a slot player has a win? No, right? Because they know that over 1,000 spins, they come out on top. So abandon this gambler's mentality where you have to be perfect and embrace the probabilities and size your positions to play those probabilities. Right? I lost 15% less than my max loss number on that trade. Long term, that is a very good outcome for my trading. So if my max loss is $500 and I took a $420 loss, I'm actually in a good position. That's a positive outcome. Even if the trade wasn't successful, that was still a positive outcome. Does everyone understand? Is that fair? Like, I don't know how else I can stress that. So maybe on ES here, right? Again, the aggressive entry technique again. Be a 6-point stop loss, right? So what's 6 times 50? Yeah, spot on. So would that be a 1 contract or 2 contract play? If my max loss is $500, so 1 contract or 2 contracts? Yeah. And so if I wanted to get 2 contracts, how big of a stop loss would I need? Yeah, 5 points, right? So that would then be an entry of 42.75, right? Instead of 43.75. If NQ can hold above 2,400, again, that gets interesting. Because then we can target a move towards 25, right? So a lot of space there. Okay, good close. Okay, let's see this thing fail here, and then we can look for an entry. Okay, so again, starting to watch here. All right, guys, so I am in here, right? 24.1875. And it's an 18-point stop loss, right? So that's 1 contract. So let's see if this thing's got the juice here, right? But we're in great shape. ES absolutely squeezed as well. So let's see if it's keep having them see if we can keep on to that momentum. There we go. That's the words I was looking for. Okay, I'm going to close my position here. Maybe not, maybe not. Just watching a little bit. Just a little bit of some paranoia there. I'm going to say stop loss at entry price. Stop loss at entry price. Plus the spread, right? So I'm risk-free here. I'm kind of debating closing. All right, I'm out. Closed at 23. Two reasons. One, if this is strong, maybe I can get a slightly different entry here. But I don't like the way that this is behaving here short term. Okay, maybe a little bit of a panicky trade. I'm going to make sure, right, I finished green on that position. It's a bad decision. Okay, so I could play this on the 15 min here and still have an opportunity. So stop loss 24, 28, 75 as is. Come on, give me a little pullback here. All right, so I am back in here at 24.38. Stop loss at 428.75. And this is 2 contracts. $10, right? Let's see if this thing can go. What do you mean by that, Karat? Stop order keeps getting rejected, or it keeps bouncing off of that? That doesn't answer the question. The order get rejected, or is the price getting rejected? And which platform are you? Are you not setting your stop loss first? So it should always be tick your stop loss and then go. I can't answer that question at the moment. I'm not quite sure what the problem is. If you can send me a screenshot in Discord, maybe I can give you an answer. But that might sound like a trade evade problem. Come on, bounce. Come on. All right, here we go. Let's see if this thing can now really start pushing higher. All right, beautiful. Now green on the day. Let's see if it's got the juice. Give me that OJ run here. That's funny, crap. Come on. 2,000 yards and a Heisman. Come on. A little bit of paranoia here again. Bounce. Come on, bounce, bounce, bounce. Come on. Go. Come on. It's taking a little bit longer than I would like, right? For this to give me some more follow through here to the upside. There's a pop. Okay. So here we go. All right. Let's see if we can get some more here. Plus 560. Come on. Come on, come on. Is this deja vu? Or is this just a little trick? Tesla 220. Decent sign. Come on. I'm still going to wait for this thing to break out a little bit more from where it's at. Before I push my stop loss here to entry protection, because there's not that much buffer, right? A 6-point buffer is not nearly enough. If you don't like the way it's moving, I would recommend just taking off your entire position, right? And taking the win. Instead of pushing your stop loss and getting shaken out at break even. It'd be better to take your $150, $200, whatever it might be. Come on, push. There we go, team. There we go. So let's see if it can keep holding. Again, it keeps going elevator up and then a pretty long stairs down. Let's see if it's got the legs here. There's 1,000. There's 1,500. All right, so I'm going to look to close this, I think, pretty soon because this move is now happening faster than I expect. Nice work, Michael. Congratulations. Great Friday, my man. So let's see if it's got the legs here. It's going to be a near $1,000 day. Okay, that's 13, 14. Nice work, Juan. That's 1,600. And so I feel like my decision here, right, to have closed it on that initial trade we took here on NQ, reset and play it on the 15, has been very beneficial, right? Because I was able to get a second contract off on smaller sizing, lock in a small win right on that first trade. And now I have a larger net win. So again, right, if a trade is strong, it'll give you multiple chances to enter. And that feels good. Okay, see if we can get a pop here. And then I'll look to close it on a pop above that 80. Nice work, Constantine. That's a great day. Congratulations. Okay, so a pop here above this 80 should give me an opportunity to close. Let's see if it can happen. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. This won't be a chance to pyramid, right? Because this is not going to be an increasing volume candle here on this 15 min. Hey, that's awesome, Sook. It's good practice. Nice work, Nicholas. It's a great day, team. Again, obsess over losing small. Keep your technique consistent, right? And then you actually get the pros and cons, right, of being able to trade your idea. So we didn't do anything different than what we did on our first trade, right? We just played the probabilities. So if you're looking to then overcorrect, right, and you miss this trade, you're feeling really dumb. Ooh. Don't know if I liked that reaction too much. Okay, again, see if we can get a little bit of a squeeze here. It's 10:30. Come on. Just a little bit more here. NQ, just a little bit more. Nice work, Jeff. Congratulations. Come on. Yeah, I don't really know what that means, to be honest with you, Topher. Right? Like, I don't look at pre-market price action on futures because it's not significant volume. Right? So I don't really put too much stock into those levels. They don't really mean much to me. Nice work, Raphael. Fantastic win. Fantastic. Like the only time, guys, I'm going to really care about overnight levels is the day of the election, right? That's really going to be the only time I care. Because there'll actually be volume supporting those narratives. Okay, see if we can bounce off of this 50 here. Come on. Come on, keep going here, you lunatic. Who's still in this with me? Nice, Rain. Love it. So, plan, guys, right, is to close it on a pop above that 480. That is the plan here. Yeah. They're 1/10 of the minis. Just where we saw price action get a little bit stuck here, right? All I have above that 480 area on the last couple days is just rejections. And the move is relatively extended at this point too, right? So from... I mean, it's not even showing me the way I want, but... just a little bit of an extended move. We're already past that 2R level. Right? So I don't want to be hyper aggressive here. But I think if we get above that 80, we're going to get a little bit of a big pop. And I want to sell on that pop to make sure I'm closing as my P&L is increasing. So hopefully today's trading, right, is a good lesson over why we don't overreact to a singular outcome, right? We're playing the game of probabilities and we're not living and dying with each result, right? So if a win destroys all your ability to follow your system in the future, that is not a good win. If your loss crushes your ability to follow your system and your panic and your only desire is to then change your rules to make sure that that one trade would have been a win, then that loss is a lot worse, right, than the $420 P&L hit. Right? Being a trader means you have to have a steady hand when things are going bad, right? And when things are going well. And it's too easy, and I see it too often, and I get pressured too often to change my technique, right? And overcorrect for each loss. And I will not tolerate it. I'm Not because I'm some incredible whatever, right? I'm a deeply flawed individual and person. But it's because I've back-tested my strategy and my results over hundreds of trades. And I have 6 months, right, of trading the strategy and stress testing it and surviving the ups and downs and all this kind of stuff, that I've put in too much blood, sweat, and tears to then go from trading my back test to gambling on like some feeling of what could, should, would, right? So if you can come with me with facts, hey, here's a better entry technique, here's a better stop loss technique, here's a better setup thesis, awesome, right? That's what I want. But if you're just gonna say, oh, I don't like my result here, change it, va fangul, right? Like, it's no value there. So I am a systematic trader. I'm not good at trading necessarily. I'm not bad at trading. All I am is I am stubborn at following my rules and at trusting my process. And I'm stubborn because I've put in the work to back test those results and to create that set of rules that I should follow on a day-to-day basis. So it's not that I'm good. It's not that I'm bad. It's not that I'm lucky. It's not that I'm unlucky. All I'm trying to do is to tune out all the noise and follow the rules that I have noticed and the pattern that I've noticed that makes me money. Everything else is just a distraction, and it's a trap into making me feel like I'm not good enough, or I'm not profitable enough, or I'm not whatever. And then once I start to basically make decisions to reward those feelings, then the little voice in my head that doesn't want me to win gets louder and louder and louder. And all of a sudden, I then get addicted to feeding that parasite instead of actually following the structure and the rules that I know makes me a successful trader. So instead of rewarding that dopamine result of I need this immediate outcome, or I need this trade to be a winner, or I need this whatever, right, to be XY result, I am building and systemizing my trading so that I can ignore that parasite, right? Because those feelings that you get inside your head are not designed to actually help you level up. They're designed to keep you comfortable and in place. But being profitable and being an outlier and doing things that most people can't do is fundamentally uncomfortable. So if you want to get good at trading, you want to get the results that you're actually craving, you need to start embracing that uncomfortable feeling and get happy, right, basically with those results. Because it is the more that you embrace that essentially unknown, even when things feel like shit, sorry to curse, that you end up doing a lot better, right, as a trader. And if every time you have that uncomfortable feeling, you panic, overcorrect, and change your process, you are going to remain stuck forever. That is a guarantee. And I'm incredibly passionate about this, right? Because I see it every single day. Right? And this idea that a trader wins on every decision, every day, every week, every month is not the reality, right? So if I know that that isn't the reality and I'm living a version of that, I cannot panic and change everything like crazy. And it's very frustrating when I see people doing it, or when I'm basically asked to do it myself, right? We got to get over this living with each result mindset. It is just holding you back. Come on. Is that clear to everyone? Everyone understand? We are being the casino. We are not playing the slot machine, right? When you lose at the slots, you either put in more money or you go find a different machine. When you're the casino, you just let the players do their thing and you basically just collect their cash, right? So choose who you want to be. Do you actually want to have a win, or do you want to have the feeling as if you have a chance to win? How you behave is significantly different each time. Come on, close up above 50. Yeah, Trading in the Zone is an incredible book. Incredible. But you can read it, right? Which most people do, but most people don't actually take what they read in that book and implement it actually into their trading, right? They let the information go in one ear, out the other, and they don't make any practical applications. All right, so see if this thing can go here. Last chance saloon. All right, guys, I am out of this position, closed at 43. now we're starting to get some pretty aggressive rejections. Maybe we can play a move here back down towards the low of this opening range. Again, talked about wanting to close my P&L as it was increasing here. Did not do that on this trade. So that 80 just could not get up and over it. Which is a little bit frustrating. Nice work, Jeremy. Congratulations. Awesome, awesome day. So 26.75 would have to be the stop loss here. Okay, guys, so I am in short here, average 24.13. Two contracts. Come on. Like to see it flush under that 400 with some aggression. There it goes. Plus 750. Every time I'm short a position, all I think about is that Office Space scene where they're destroying the photocopier. Every time, it just runs in my head. Okay, it's got to close under 400 here. If it can't, I will get out. Okay, I'm out. At 4:09. So I'm just taking some scalps here. Again, if this thing sets up on a longer time frame, right, you are back in play. Do think that was the right decision, though. To the upside, you mean, Sammy? Nice work, Karat. Awesome, awesome work. Well, where's your bullish confirmation? Where's your sign that bulls are in control? It's got to be candle 1, 2, or 3. Right now, it's still all red candles. Yeah, but a weak red candle still means that bears are in control, right? So I will never play a reversal to the upside off of a red candle, right? I would wait for some sort of indication that bulls have reclaimed. That doesn't look like strong volume. Right? It's like we didn't play the reversal here on NQ off of this 1025. You play it once you have that bearish reversal, right? Increasing, but it's not a great example there. It looks better on the 10. You don't play it on that candle. You play it when you have that, you know, second most bearish, whatever you want to call it, right? On increasing outlier. Now, 10 min, right? You could say maybe starting to look like a reversal setup. And if this was the case, right, you're looking for a fake out to occur under this 391 first. See bears fail again, and then you can run it up. Yeah, crude for sure. Problem with crude, though, is you don't have that much space left for you to target for this upper range. 76.11. Maybe you could go to 76.50. You'd have to close above 76. So just from like a risk reward perspective, you might struggle with CL here. So let's see if crude can finish above 76. Really close. Right, going into 11. Okay, so immediately, right, it'd have to be the aggressive technique. See how far it pulls back. So 75.96 would have to be your stop loss as is. I could buy like 10 contracts here. Let's see if this thing, where it bounces. Okay, now it would be less. Say a little bit that crude is maybe getting a bit stuck. Right, hit 76 and then 8-cent sell-off. Doesn't feel great. So far, 3 for 4 on the day. I'm not sure how aggressive I want to be. Again, stop loss have to be 87 now on crude. But if I'm like trying to be objective over its reaction at 76, don't like that it gives it a little hedgehog peek over and then burrows back down. Like if I'm trying to define what strong price action looks like, I don't think that's the definition. I'm watching a little bit here to the downside again. Here's your confirmation candle. This would be that fake out entry that we talked about, right, from the Discord. Entry technique to inside chop. High vol breakdown, little fake out above. It needs to remain a fake out above. And then you place your stop loss at that fake out high. And we need to see a red candle here. I think it closed above. Honestly, team, I think I might just not place any further trades. That brings me nicely green on the day, right? Green on the week. And I think that's probably a little bit more valuable than trying to get a ton more action here. It's 11:06. So I don't know if I need to do anything else here. Pretty insane. I'm kind of happy to be green. Yeah, I think so too, Jeff. I think so too. Not like a massive day by any means. Again, left a little bit of money on the table here. Seem to not want to close my P&L at highs. Or like just missing my profit target, which is a bit frustrating. So any questions here, team? Any questions? It's a lot of work for a net 1 hour win here today. Brains in the gutter. Okay, 4 trades. Loss, win, win, win. All right, good little week here. Yeah, Jeremy, if you go into the daily debrief channel, it's there. It's one of the pinned messages. Sounds good, Anton, and have yourself a great weekend, man. All right, so team, any questions here this afternoon? Yeah, we made the right call on CL. Any questions here, team? Any questions? That's nice, 3 green days in a row. So I will not complain about that. Just thinking about that. Probably not, personally. If I look at this on the daily, it kind of just looks like an inside bar day. If it had a fake out above yesterday's high, then I have an easier argument to make that bulls are trapped and that they failed to break out and now we're rejecting. But this just looks like consolidation on the bigger picture. It's the same thing with NQ, same thing, or maybe not ES. ES is a little sociopath today. But I don't think I would, no. All right, guys, final call for questions here. Final call for questions. I mean, this NQ more like it to the downside, but again, I would just stay away from it now. So final call here, team. Final call. Any questions, team? Any questions? All right, everybody. Well, no further questions here for the day. Hope you all have yourselves a fantastic weekend. I think bond markets are closed on Monday, which might make a little bit of a lower volume environment. We'll see if that ends up being the case. But nice end to the week, right? 3 green days in a row, finishing up nicely green here on the week. And we're starting to get back, right, within just a couple K, right, of that sort of drawdown period. So not bad, right? Not bad at all. And we'll get there. So have yourselves all a fantastic weekend. Same deal like always, right? If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, 3-day winning streak. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the momentum building. Let's keep improving, right? Should be a little bit more than what it was here today. It's back-to-back days. I probably left 5 or 6K on the table all in, right? Which is a lot. So something to consider and kind of contemplate here going forward. But have yourselves all an incredible weekend. And we'll be back at it again on Monday. I'll keep crushing it then. So have yourselves a great one. And we'll talk to you soon. Peace. What do you mean by play with divergence? Like a volume divergence, you mean? Something like that. Oh, it's Thanksgiving this weekend, Craig? How did I not know that? I am the world's worst Canadian. Have a better plan, Suresh, on when you're willing to close your position, right? Either a number that you push your stop loss above to so that you make sure you protect at least that much. Or, right, you know, you just got to take it off. Fight back through that greed. Now, it's something that I've struggled with a little bit here this week, right? So it's not perfect, but it's about being specific. So for me, right, I wanted to see a little pop above that 2480. That didn't happen. And so I didn't close it for maybe where I wanted. So the question is, was my plan good? Was my plan bad? That would be the difference. No, I don't look at RSI. For me, it has very minimal value. RSI is a study of price and volume to determine relative strength. And so I'd rather just study price and volume and their reaction to reversals versus an RSI reaction to reversals. So I don't personally use it. All right, guys, final call here. Final call. Excuse me. All right, team. Have yourselves a great weekend. The Canadians, have yourself a great Thanksgiving. And I'll see you all on Monday. Peace.